One of the things I love when you open up this record that's so cool is they have this thing, it's like a triple-gatefold. So it's so cool. But my favorite part about this, I mean, there's so many cool pictures. Like that picture is just awesome. I love that. You know, you've got all these pictures. You have Alex with the Les Paul. You have Geddy with the Rickenbacker bass, which gave him that just killer tone in those early days. But what I love on this album is these two pictures right here. It shows you Rush at a different stage. You know, a world that we will never see again with them, obviously, and they went away a long time ago. There's only a couple thousand people in there. This is a small hall. And then look at this. People literally up against the stage sitting there like this. That went away a long, long time. By the time I saw Rush for the first time, it's in an arena. You know, there's 10 feet between the first row and the stage with security guards, the whole thing like that. This is a different time. Imagine being able to go to a Rush show, and I'm sure some of you did, where you were able to get up there right on the stage and put your hands on the stage, and Geddy's right there, and you can practically touch him and touch Alex and have that intimate experience. And to me, that's the beauty of this particular live album, because there's not a lot of these things out there. We would never get anything like that from Rush again as far as live albums go, because by the time they got to Exit Stage Left, they're this huge band playing arenas. You know, there's tens of thousands of people going to this thing. This is just a couple thousand people. And like I said, you can hear it. When you listen to the song 2112, you hear how intimate it is, and it's so cool. Anyway, these two pictures to me kind of tell that story. Now, the other thing that's neat about this is what they had to say about it right there. And I'm going to read this to you. Big Rush fans have heard this all before, but I think this is such a cool little statement that they made. This album consists of the show which we brought to you during the North American tours of 1976. It is an anthology of what we feel to be the high points of our concerts and recordings up to this time. It is not perfect, but it is faithful to us and to you. We have tried to strike a careful balance between perfection and authenticity, and to create a finished work that you may enjoy and we may be proud of. That's a great, I love that line right there, that you can enjoy and we can be proud of at the same time. Because that is the balance with so many of these live concerts. When you buy these live albums, everybody goes, that's not really live. They did so much, they cleaned it up in the studio. Yeah, most of the time these guys do that. And it's for this thing right here. We want you to enjoy it, but we want to be proud of this too. Even though some of us would actually love to hear all the mistakes and all the stuff, there's part of them that goes, yeah, but we also want to feel proud of this at the same time. Anyway, that's a great line right there. This album to us signifies the end of the beginning, a milestone to mark the close of chapter 1 in the annals of Rush. It was an important turning point right here because, you know, again, like I said, when you look at this picture, this is a different version of the band. When there's no keyboards, when you show up there to see the show, that's one of the first things. If you came into Rush late and you're going back and discovering this, you see that and go, wait a minute, where's all the keyboards? Gone, not there yet. And they wouldn't show up until, it seems as though they see it here, until they started entering into chapter 2. The other thing, just kind of interesting to look at some of the thanks that they have, just a couple of important things. One of them is Cliff Burnstein right here, because he was such an important part of the history of Rush. If you're a Rush fan, you know all about him. And he was critical to their success, especially getting them their record contract in the United States. The other one that's kind of interesting to note, of course, is that they put Rod Serling in there too, because as you know, they had dedicated the album Crest of Steel to Rod Serling. He was a big deal, a big influence. As a matter of fact, on the album 2112, part of the reason they're going to mention him here is you have the song Twilight Zone, which was a song really was about the Twilight Zone. It was really about Rod Serling. It was a reference back to that because they were huge fans and they saw Rod Serling as an inspiration or an influence to the things that they did. And when you look at the back of the album here, you see the list of songs, and oh my gosh, yeah, they obviously didn't. At least the album does not have the entirety of 2112, but it has so many great tunes. I mean, and especially the beginning of it where it says, "Would you please welcome home Rush?" Because of course they're back home when they record this thing, and there was probably a little bit of energy that came from that as well, you know. And then they get into Bastille Day, which. What a great tune to start with. That riff that Alex plays. And then I mean, it's so killer. Just again, this great power trio stuff. You get all through this album, like I said, Fly By Night. I think this is the first time I ever heard that song. And you get all the way to the end of the thing to what you're doing. And I don't know if you ever noticed this, if you listen to it all the way to the end, the last few seconds of it, it sounds a little bit, you hear the applause and the screaming and what have you, and then it quiets down and you hear what sounds like the guys in the band kind of saying, kind of wrapping up the show like, oh, that's it. I can't remember exactly what they said, but it was kind of and then you hear this door slam and then it's over. But if you go all the way to the very end, you just hear this little interaction between, it sounds like the guys in the band talking to each other as they wrap up the show.